Hello wonderful people, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the new EP from Skybreak, Lumina. This is the debut Disciple EP from none other than 18-year-old Sky Ramsey, aka Skybreak, who's been releasing for around 4 years now, but only in the last year or so really catapulted himself into the bass mainstream, putting his name on the map through labels like Rushdown, Audio Records and Form, before going on to release tunes with Disciple and Bygore towards the tail end of last year, and also Circus Records just last week. The Disciple tracks being mile and away the most significant, however. Firstly, his winning remix for Oliver's Parachute on the biggest remix competition of all time. Then his track Waterfall for Disciple's first definitive foray into melodic bass music, Afterlife Volume 1. Both of which showcased entirely different sides of his production, but which are each statement-making in their own ways. The former, the remix, more of a knockout blockbuster kind of number, but then the latter more charming and alluring, but both of them teeming with personality and character. Now, a fair few I imagine won't have heard of Skybreak before news of this EP came around. Being on the main label, someone relatively unknown, it may be a surprise for some. When you consider the fact that Disciple are really going down the melodic route on the main label now, what with Roundtable being so rhythm-centric, and Skybreak being one of the most exciting melodic acts at the moment, the fact that he got this release actually makes a lot of sense. The question going into Lumina though being, could he keep that standard up? Would he further cement himself as one of the most exciting up-and-comers in bass music? And if I'm being honest, more than anything, I think considering Skybreak's potential, this EP feels to me like a little bit of a lost opportunity. It's a collection with a load of brilliant melodic moments, really comes into his own in that regard here, and clear again that he's an expert on that front. But regarding the main ideas we get here, there's a definite nagging feeling for me that he could have pushed a lot further across the board. The opener Wildfire being a perfect example of that, where there are some pretty electrifying sounds on show in the heaviness throughout. But when it comes to the overall drop ideas, it's one of those where I don't really have much to say about it, simply because I don't really feel there's much available to talk about. Kind of feels a bit stuck in itself as well. There are motifs repeated through the track which are good for making it somewhat memorable, but for the most part just lacking wow factor and variation over its course. Similarly, the closer Aurora, again the heaviness here, some nice flickers here and there, but not loads to comment on. It's very pleasant and sweet and stylistically fitting as the closer, I think, but it does tip over in that regard to the point where it just feels like a Disney-fied version of dubstep. Just a bit too much on that front. Again, for me, it's that thing of considering what he's done before, you don't really feel like he's showing off his style here. Lumina is, however, more impressive on the heaviness front in the middle section of it. Just before Aurora, we have track 3, River Spirit, and I talked about motifs, and the one here is for me the most impactful in the EP. Very simple, but very catchy and memorable, and it sticks in your mind and makes you want to go back to it. Just repeating that makes it so catchy. The first drop feels a little bit stuck in itself and the percussion's a bit grainy, but I do like how it becomes more exciting over the following drops. Again, lacking wow factor, but that sort of energy in life is exactly what you want to hear from him. Before that, for track 2, we get, in my opinion, the clearest case of Skybreak in full flow with the title tune. The first drop here is an emphatic one, the idea is direct and to the point, really gets you moving. Maybe could have filled a bit more space here and there, but a very, very solid idea. The second drop being an effective switch up too. Not quite as riveting as the first overall, but still incorporates heaviness well, making for what is undeniably for me the statement maker on the EP. As per with dubstep, the heaviness playing the focal role, but it's perhaps elsewhere that Lumina shines most. Touched on it earlier, but there are fantastic melodic moments littered across the whole EP, and I mean every tune. All 4 outros here are really well crafted and fitting for what comes before them. A lot of musical prowess in those sections. The grand classical ending to the collection on Aurora is really well done, and the finale of the title track is notably blissful. I mean, a lot of top draw piano moments here, like the guy can play. Also the midsections, which are mostly superb, like the Temanite-esque sequence on the opener, really strutting his stuff there, or the shimmering and fluttering on the title tune, or the really immersive and vivid feel midway through River Spirit. Maybe not Aurora though, and that would be thanks in large part to the vocal here from Mizu, which yeah, I have to be honest, I do just find it a bit naff, and I'm struggling to take it seriously on the lyrical front. Again, just very overtly Disney. On that note, appreciating the millennial trash vocal feature in the opener Wildfire just a little bit more, but honestly, not a lot more. Once again, do just find it a little bit naff. But yeah, both those vocals, you know, they've clearly got a bit of range and a good tone to their delivery, but it just feels like they're playing it safe here. On that notion of playing it safe, I think that's something that can be translated into the vocal parts of the EP. For the most part, in my opinion, lacking the wildness and spontaneity that we know and love his music for. The extreme melodic talent is very apparent again, but the drops are the central point here, and there aren't many getting me off my seat. There's a ton of heaviness here that I just don't feel I can say that much about compared to other stuff from him. And there are many moments here where I'm just really wanting him to level up and push that bit further. This can be seen in a positive light, you know, ultimately it's a reflection on how good he can be, how good he has been, how high his approach is held generally. And yeah, this EP comes as a bit of a surprise to me, which, you know, says it all. I think regardless of how Lumina's received, he's still a massive, massive part of the melodic resurgence. And I love it for that. That he and what he stands for, his music, are getting this kind of platform. But the lasting feeling is definitely one of craving more in a debut on the big stage from someone as previously mesmerising as he's been. He shows himself off here only in some aspects, whereas before he's done so in all of them, which is where Lumina, in spite of the abundance of melodic good that we get here, falls short for me. Now in terms of my favourite here, then I'm gonna have to go for the title tune. The most going for it as a kind of combination of sequences, and it doesn't put many feet wrong, and the best drops. So yeah. And in terms of recommendations, if you enjoyed the EP, then I would just look at Afterlife Volume 1. A fantastic compilation for music that is similar to what we get right here. So yeah, if you enjoyed Lumina, then you will love that. But there we have it, my review of the debut Disciple EP from Skybreak, Lumina. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. What did you guys make of the EP, Lumina? Which track of the 4 is your pick? Drop all of your views, thoughts, and opinions in the comments section down below. Beyond that, subscribe if you're yet to, hit the bell along the way, and my social media accounts and Discord, as well as the Nawtystep Patreon page are linked below in the description. But yeah, keep it naughty. If it's naughty, then you know, and I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace!